So hello everyone, and in this last lecture let us discuss about the last topics of this particular unit which we have left in our previous classes. So in the last class we have seen about the NAND and NOR gate and how to find the threshold voltage of these gates. Now let's see the last topic, and this is about the layout and the stick diagram. So today we are going to basically discuss the optimized stick diagram, that how to get the optimized stick diagram and what is a stick diagram. So this is what we are going to see today. So you see, after drawing the schematic properly and finding the various voltages, the threshold voltage, the static characteristics, the dynamic characteristics, okay, so whatever we require. So this is what we do at the schematic level. So once the schematic is completed, then we move on to the other level, which is called the layout level. So it is nothing but the layout of the device, and not only the device but the whole circuit which we have for which we have drawn the schematic. And the schematic of the circuit can be like transferred on the layout, and this layout will be later on used to fabricate the device or fabricate the whole circuit. So this first we have to draw a mask, okay, or mask can be drawn by the help of layout. So this layout is required to draw a mask, to make a mask, and that mask later on will be used to make the this fabrication, to do the fabrication. And this fabrication we have already studied in our this unit 2, right? So this is used for this purpose. So you see, as far as this the schematic is considered for an inverter, then the layout, if you want to make, so layout is nothing but the regions or the various places where at which the various terminals, the various wires, the VDD supply, okay, the gate terminal or the this output terminal, this ground, where we should keep them. Okay, so we have to decide them, and to decide them, and because we have to make a mask of that. So to make a mask, we need specific and like precise, accurate this drawings, this masks. And to do that we use, because you see, if you want to do it for a small circuit, then we can do it manually. We can draw the diagram, or it's like drawing a this picture, okay. So it is sort of drawing. So which you can do in this drawing, you use only triangles and rectangles, and sometimes this rectangles, squares, and sometimes you use circles somewhere, okay, but usually triangles and rectangles and squares we use. And this drawing we make with the help of different colors. Why we use different colors? Just to show the various different levels, or I should say level, or like various metals, like polysilicon. Where is the polysilicon? Where is the metal? Where is the contact? Where is the this active region area? Where is the well? So to define that, we have to make exact drawings. So that drawing, when combined together and which satisfy all the these requirements which is specified by the foundry, okay. So if that drawing satisfies all the criteria, okay, then we can say that the layout is satisfactory, and then that can be used to for the fabrication, okay. But if it is a big circuit, if it is a very big circuit, and the VLSI, as you know, for this course particularly we are studying small circuits, and you can draw it manually. But if you are drawing a little bit bigger circuit, okay, a medium level circuit as well, so then drawing the layout is little difficult, okay, for human beings to remember, because there are so many rules which we have to follow, because that what should be the distance, the minimum distance between two neighboring edges, okay, two neighboring the various layers, let's say polysilicon and the metal layer. So what is the difference? So there are based on this there are various rules, and for human beings it is very difficult to remember those rules. So what we do is to draw the layout exactly, we use software tools, okay, the LVS, this layout tools, which are available in the in many of the softwares which we do for the simulation. But for human understanding, we have to draw a rough diagram, okay. So that rough diagram which we draw is called basically the stick diagram. So once that rough diagram we can make on the this pen and paper, okay, with the help of pen and paper, if you can draw it, then that we can replicate at exact scale, if we do the drawing at exact scale, then we can replicate it to make a layout. Okay, so you see, our aim is to basically get the layout, but it is difficult for human beings to directly draw the layout. So then first we draw the intermediate, what is called as the stick diagram. So in today's class we are going to discuss the stick diagram, that how to draw the stick diagram, and that too is the optimized stick diagram for any circuit. So obviously we will try to understand the stick diagram, the optimization process, the optimized stick diagram process, with the help of a certain these examples. That examples will not be very big, but it is not although very small also. So we'll try to understand that. So okay, you got the understanding of this. So this is again a layout for different let's say NAND gate. We can understand it very simply, that this where are the pink lines which you can see, pink rectangles, they are the like actually the your gate. Okay, so polysilicon, and the other regions where you can see this one, so this is for your VDD, okay, supply, this metal contacts, and this is for your ground, whereas this region, this green, is your active region. Okay, and wherever there is a transition, there is a intersection of the polysilicon with the active region, so then you form a gate. Okay, or you form a, not a gate, you form a transistor there. Okay, and the combination of this, the same thing, this is the lower one is your NMOS, and then the upper one is your PMOS, and you can see, if you'll match it, then you will find that it will be your NAND gate. So we don't have to understand this layout, because once you are able to understand the stick diagram, then you just have to remember the rules. Remembering the rules, and that too the software you can use. So we don't have to draw it manually. I don't expect you to draw the layout manually. Okay, so but I expect you to draw the stick diagram manually. So we'll try to understand that. Okay, okay. So let's move on from this layout, so to the stick diagram. So how to draw the stick diagram? Okay, so basically stick diagram is nothing but it's a rough diagram, as I have told you, without dimensions. You don't have to take care of the dimensions, but you have to take care of the relative this positions, this where the transistors should come, so that the this layout should consume as minimum area as possible. Because if it consumes minimum area, then obviously the power dissipation and the other things will also be less. There will not be much wastage of power, okay, energy. So that's what. So what we do is to consider the obviously the stick diagram will have lines only. We'll draw it with different colors, lines of different colors, but it is used to represent a this layout. Okay, and we use these rectangles, solid lines, circles, as I have told you, and this black squares or the cross contacts, this cross hedge strips to show the this various polysilicon layer and the metal contacts. Okay, so you see these are the various what you can say, this you can consider this particular things like rectangle for diffusion area, and the solid line for metal contacts, circle for your contact, metal line for a solid line for metal connection, circle for contacts, cross hatched strip line for your polysilicon. Okay, just as a convention. But people use different things, so I should not call it convention rather. Okay, but you can follow one particular thing. That blue color you will use for to show the metal contact, this metal wires. Black color you will use to show for contacts. So here we are using black color to show the contacts. So same you can use as well if when and where it is required. Pink line you can use for your polysilicon. Okay, green line, this green region, this green rectangle for your N active region, whereas the brown rectangle for your P region. Okay, P active region. Okay, so this is what you can see. So these are the various colors which you can see here in this slide, and this is what is the significance of this color. So you can follow this convention. Okay, and if you will follow it uniformly, so it will be easy for us to understand the things. Okay. Okay, so now let's see, we want to draw the stick diagram for inverter. So I'll try to explain this inverter to you first of all, and then the stick diagram for NAND gate. So what is happening in the stick for an inverter, if you consider, so inverter is nothing but you see NMOS is there at as a driver, and a PMOS is there as a this load, and the gate of both of them are connected together, and this connection is connected, and this connection at this intersection you connect the input. okay, to this particular thing. And then the drains are also connected together, and to that point you connect the output, whereas the source of the PMOS is connected to the VDD, whereas the source of the NMOS, which is M1, is connected to the ground. So you see, considering this, if we see the stick diagram, then you can easily understand it. So you see, blue line is for your first metal interconnects. So metal interconnects, so one line is coming from your VDD, and this line is coming up to this connection. So this is a connection, okay, so this is a contact. And then you can see there is a active region. So this is your active polysilicon, sorry, not polysilicon, active P region, okay, so this one. Then this is your active N region. Then this, from here we connect it to the ground, and we form this N region is connected to the ground. Whereas now we make this red line, and this red line, which you can see on the this particular diagram, so this is your polysilicon, okay. And from this, if you see, then we again form the two contacts, okay. From this is the drain of your NMOS, whereas this is your drain of NMOS, whereas this is your source of drain of your PMOS, and the sources are connected to the source of PMOS is connected to the VDD, and the source of NMOS is connected to the ground. And now you see, from this intersection, this particular thing, you can take the output. So here you can take the output, and from here at this particular thing you can apply the input to this thing, okay. So you see, or here in fact you can apply it here also. So wherever you apply it, the input, if it is applied to the polysilicon, then it becomes the input to the whole inverter. So this is what the point. So you can see that this stick diagram is the stick diagram for your simple CMOS inverter, okay. So on similar lines, if you follow the similar lines, then you can make the this stick diagram for, let's say, NAND gate. So in NAND gate, what happens? In NAND gate, what happens? Your NMOSes are in series, right? And your PMOSes are in parallel. As in this diagram, you can see that your NMOSes, two NMOSes are in series, whereas two PMOSes are in parallel, okay. The gate of one of the NMOS and PMOS is connected together, whereas the gate of the other NMOS and the PMOS are also connected together, whereas the source of both the PMOSes are connected to the VDD supply, whereas the source of one of the NMOS is connected to the ground, whereas the drain of the other is connected to the output, okay. And the source of the lower drain of the lower NMOS is connected to the source of the upper NMOS. So this is what it is. So now let's try to understand this thing on the stick diagram. So you see what is happening here. So you can see that if we consider the pull down network. So in the pull down network, if you can see that this region, this is your, so this is particularly your polysilicon, okay. So this, wherever this intersection happens, so that many number of transistors we are making. So you can see that it is intersecting the green region at 2 points. So it means you are making two transistors, two NMOS transistors, okay. First I am talking about the N region only, so I am talking about the pull down network first. So you see, two NMOSes are formed, and now they are like connected back to back. So this is called what? Series connection. So you see, this is a series connection of this, and at one point you have connected it with the to the ground, and the other point you have taken to the other output, okay. So this is what is we have seen in this this schematic as well. So this is okay with the NMOS. So this is how we make the NMOS circuit. Now the PMOS, as you can see that in the PMOS, what happens? Both the PMOSes are in parallel. So you see, and this parallel is between 2 points. One is the VDD and the other one is your drain, okay, and the output terminal, you can say. So you see, this is your output terminal. So you have connected the two transistors between output. You have to connect the two transistors between output and the VDD supply. So this is one transistor between output and VDD supply, and this is the other transistor between output and the VDD supply, okay. And now the this VDDs are connected to the this VDD. This is there is a contact, so you have connected that to the VDD supply. So now you see, this is again forming, this is intersecting, the polysilicon is intersecting the brown line, which is the PMOS, this active region, P active region. So it is intersecting that at 2 points. Then you can easily say that the transistor, you have formed two PMOS transistors and they are in parallel, right? So you see, if this is so, then obviously if you apply the inputs to the this pink lines, then they will become the inputs to the gate A and B, okay, and you can take the output from here, from this interconnection, okay. So you see, this is how you form the NAND gate. So similarly, you can form the stick diagram for any of the circuit. It is whether it is a NAND gate or NOR gate or any other complex gate, okay. So this is what the procedure we follow. Now let's see that how to form this is the stick diagram for a simple this gate or a simple circuit, very simple circuit. But if suppose the circuit is little complex, if it is a certain other circuit, a certain logical function, certain Boolean expression, certain complex Boolean expression, and for that you have to draw the stick diagram, then what is the procedure we should follow? Okay, so I'm not going to see this procedure in detail. Rather, I'm going to show you. I'll try to explain the things with the help of an example. Okay, so then the things will be easy to you to understand, because you can understand it from reading this thing, but it will not be very clear to you. Okay, so to understand the things, we'll use this particular diagrams, and I'll try to explain the things with the help of an example, with the help of examples. So you see, first of all, if suppose we want to draw the functionality or the stick diagram for complex circuit, okay, let's say in this case the complex circuit is, the function is A or B, and it is C or D. Okay, so A or B dot C or D. So this is what the function is. Now if I want to realize this, so first I will A plus B dot C plus D whole bar. So this is what the function is. So if I take this function in the function on which there is a whole bar, so what I will do, I will try to realize the function with, first of all, in the pull down network. So in the pull down network, if I see, so you see the pull down network will have A or B, okay, so parallel, and then C or D are in parallel, and there is an AND gate between them. Okay, as I have said, A plus B dot C plus D whole bar. Okay, so you see, so there is a dot, so they will be ANDed. So there is a series connection between them. Okay, so that's what you can see. So for this particular thing, if you want to draw the graph of this, so to draw the stick diagram, first of all we have to draw the graph of the circuit. So to get the graph, what we do is we show the contacts with the help of these nodes, whereas the edges, edges will show you the transistors. Okay, so here we have connected between two dots. Let's say there are two dots, output and the ground. So these two dots we have fixed. So output is one node, the ground is the another node, and in between, as we can see that there is a this connection point, one point, a common point between them. So we have also decided a center point. Okay, so first of all we'll draw the graph of the pull down network, and then we'll just we'll use the property of dual. Okay, so that's what we have studied in the last class. So we'll use the dual property, that our PMOS is always the dual of our NMOS. The this pull-up network is always the dual of the PDN network. So we'll use this property, and then we'll draw the graph of the other one as well. Okay, and then from that the circuit. So you see, so these are the nodes for your pull-up, pull-down network, and then to each of these nodes will connect the links. Okay, so the links or the edges are each of the transistor. So you can see that there is a edge between these two nodes, and there should come an edge between these two nodes. So this is your A, this is your B, okay, right, and then between this point and this point there is a transistor D, and then between this and this point there is a transistor C. So you see, between this and this point there is a transistor D, and between this and this point there is a transistor C. Okay, now this is what you got, and from this each of the extreme nodes you take the output and the ground, right? So this is what you do. Now if you want to draw the dual of this particular graph, so what we do is, in each of them, to make the dual of this, what we have to do is put the dots in each of the loops. So you see, I'll try to show you this. So you see, there is a loop, this is one loop. So in this one loop I'll put one dot. So this red dot I have used here. Okay, so then there is another loop, so this loop, so I'll use another dot in this. So second dot I have used. Okay, then so these are these two dots which you are going to use, and then there should be some this should be connected to the VDD and the output terminal. So we will use the out VDD and the output terminal this apart from the loop. Okay, so we have to consider this points VDD and the outside the loop. So we'll consider them, and we can consider on them on either of the side. Okay, so no problem. But I mean that will have some certain effect, but that effect is not we are not much concerned about that effect at this point of time. But if you are designing if you are designing a complex circuit, then this choice also matters, and this becomes a very important thing also, because choosing it on one side may increase your capacitance, and then the delay also increases. So we have to be careful about that as well. Okay, so but if we just forget that for time being, and we choose this point set at the extreme the outside the loops, then we can choose VDD and out terminals anywhere outside the loops. Then again, whatever procedure we have followed in the pull down network, same we will follow for the pull up network. And then we will connect the links between these various nodes, and you can see that we have formed the graph, this graph for the pull up network, and then from the extreme nodes we can follow the this particular thing. Okay, so this is what your graph, this is how you can get the graph for your pull up network. Okay, so the pull up network and the pull down network as are dual of each other. We can draw the graph of pull up network by putting the dots or the nodes in the loops. Okay, the loops which we have got by forming the graph of our pull down network. Okay, and once this is graph you have got, now you can I mean the procedure which you have used to get the graph from the schematic, now the opposite you can use to get the schematic of the pull up network from the graph of the pull up network. So again the same thing we'll use. So we'll make the VDD and ground here. Okay, and between VDD and ground we'll use this transistors. So you see, now A and B will become PMOSes, and C and D will also become your PMOSes in between. Okay, and as there is no interconnection between those two intermediate nodes, so we'll not connect them. So A and B are in series and C and D are also in series, whereas these two series combinations, the series combination of A and B and the series combination of C and D are in parallel with each other. Okay, so this is what you have to do, and then it is connected to the output terminal and the VDD. So this is how we do. I mean, this is how we make the this graph of the pull up network and the pull down network. Okay. Now moving on to the other thing. So we'll consider this later on. Device sizing. We are not going to consider it here. Okay, but obviously we can do. Probably if time permits, then we'll do it later. So you see. Now let me explain that if suppose this is your circuit and you want the the stick diagram for this circuit. So the very easy way is that, like suppose the function is, what is your function? The function is A, okay, A dot E plus D, okay, A dot E plus D, and it is, okay, A dot E plus D, okay, and this parallel to plus, okay, plus or B and C. Okay, so this is what the function is, and over to that there is a complete bar. Okay, so I just forgot to write that function, that's why I have spoken it here. Okay, so consider it. So now if you do it, then you can draw the this AND pull down network very easily. A, you have to take A first, and then E parallel to D, so E or D, so E or D, and then this parallel combination is connected to the series, in series with A, okay, and then that whole thing is in parallel with what? B dot C. So B and C are in series, and then that particular thing is in parallel with the previous thing which I have told. So A dot E plus D or B dot C. Okay, so and the whole bar. Okay, so there is a whole bar over the function. So this is what the function is. So if we if this is the circuit, then the pull up network will be exactly what the dual of this. So you can see that it is the pull up network is the dual of this function. Now for this circuit, if you want to draw this graph, you can obviously draw it separately from the circuit. So you can see that we have drawn the graph. Okay, so we have the graphs as well for the pull up network, this, and this is for the pull down network. Now once the graph is known, then obviously what we can do is we can directly plot the this stick diagram. So we have chosen, we have not followed particular any path, and we have just randomly randomly ordered this our polysilicons. So we have first of all put the we first of all put the columns of our this red lines. So red lines is nothing but our this polysilicon. So first we decide that where our polysilicons will come. Then we decide our this P region and the N region. Okay, so there will be some on the top side there will be pull up network, because we use VDD on the top side and ground on the lower side. So the pull down network will come on the lower side. Okay, and the blue connections and this particular things. So you can see from this connection, it's not difficult to understand. I'll try to show it here, that your E and the from this particular top circuit, if you see, so the E, the source of the E, D and C are connected to the ground. So you can see here the source of the E, this one, the source of the E, the source of the D, source of the D, okay, source of the D, sorry, not this one, source of E, source of this E, source of this D, so source of this D, this, okay, so this is your D and source of this D is here, and the source of E. So source of E is which one? Source of E is your this source of so what is your, where is the transistor? I just forgot. So E, D and C. Okay, so E and D we have considered. So this is our E, so source of E, source of D and source of C. So this is source of C. So you see, now they are connected to the ground. So you can see the connection here. So what we do is we try to minimize the number of contacts. So as less number of contacts we use. But this particular thing, if you drew, this is not the optimized stick diagram. If you want to make the optimized stick diagram, obviously this stick diagram if you will make, the circuit will work, but it will not give you the minimum area. It is not the optimized one. So I mean, this is nothing but the connections which we have made. But as this is not the optimized one, we have to get the optimized stick diagram. So to get the optimized stick diagram, what we do is we first have to make the Euler's path. And Euler's path is nothing but it is a common path between in the pull up network and the pull down network. Okay, so that common path is basically called the Euler's path. But how to get that common path, and what is your Euler path basically? Okay, so the Euler path is nothing but an uninterrupted path, okay, that traverses each transistor, okay, exactly once. So it should not the layout should this whatever path you are following, that should not traverse the transistors more than once. So each of the transistors should be traversed only once. If you follow that path, and that there should be a common path in the pull-up network, the same path which you are following in the pull-down network, the same path you should follow in the pull-up network. If you follow the same path and you get a common path between pull-up network and the pull-down network, then that common path is called as the Euler's graph. Okay, so this is what our aim is, that there should be a common path between pull-up network and the pull-down network. And if once you get that, then if you draw your columns, your polysilicons according to that, then it will be very much arranged. The pull-up network and the pull-down network will be very much arranged. It will be very easy for you to make the connections. And then in such a case, you will get the minimum area for the transistor. So that's what the reason is. That's why we do it. Okay. So this is what we have to do. So we'll do this in this particular example, and we'll see that how to do it. So you see, for this particular example which you have seen, we have first seen that how to get the random stick diagram. Okay, this is also correct. And the other thing is that different people may get different Euler's path. So it is not necessary that there will be a single common path. Okay, so there can be multiple common paths. So obviously your answer may be different than the other one. So if he is looking at different, the point is that it should be common between the pull-up network and the pull-down network. But it doesn't mean that whatever I can see, you should also see the same path. Okay, you can see the different path as well. Okay, only condition it should satisfy that it should be in the sequence without like traversing each any transistor more than once, and it should be common between the pull-up and the pull-down networks. That's what. Okay, if you follow this, then you get a common path, and then that is called a Euler path for your circuit, for your case. You can draw it and get its stick diagram, stick diagram from that. Okay, so the most important thing is the how you should draw, in which order you should lay your polysilicons. Once you have ordered them in the proper way, then the things will not be difficult for you. Okay. So the circuit which we have considered, okay, previously, so you see this is what we have considered. Okay. So now you can see this is the pull up, this is the graph of pull down network, and this is the graph of your pull up network. Okay. So if you consider them here, and just we have redrawn it here, and where is the graph? This. Okay. So this is the pull down network, this is our pull down network, and this is our pull up network. Okay, same thing. Now you see there is a common path. If I try to follow the common path, so there can be a common path. So you see, if I start traversing from A, so A, then B, then C, then D, and then E. Okay, so there is a common this path. And then again, if I start from, let's say, A, so I moved from A, B, C, then D and E. Okay, so this is what I followed. So if I follow it here as well, so A, B, C, and then what? Sorry, what is this? What is this? A, B, C, and then this is our A. Let me. Okay, so sometimes it may be confusing as well. Okay, so no need to worry. So you see, it is A, B, C, then D, A. So is it getting it A, B, C, and it is getting E, D. Okay, so okay. So let's try it from E. So E, then D, then A, then B, and then C. Okay, so you see E, D, A, B, C. So this is becoming, so E, D, A, and then B and C. So okay, the previous path which I tried to form is not a common path, so I cannot form that. Okay, so A, B, C, D, and E. Okay, if I try to follow that, then this is not coming a common path, so I cannot follow, I cannot use that. But the other one, E, D, A, B, C, is okay, so I can follow that. Okay, so you have to just hit and try. Okay, so you have to check it that what is your common path, so you have to do it by your own. So once you get that common path, then nothing, not much is remaining now. So you draw your this polysilicon in that order. Then now wherever your the sources and drains are connected in the stick diagram, in the circuit, in the schematic diagram, you connect those things here. Okay, you can make them common as well. So we have tried to make, and that's what the reason is, because if you will draw the optimized graph, then you will get many common terminals. Okay, and if you draw these common terminals, then the number of contacts will also be reduced, and therefore it will, the amount of metal it is going to consume, the schematic or the fabrication. Okay, in the fabrication, the amount of material you are going to use will also get drastically reduced. So that's what the purpose is. Okay, and because of that, the parasitics will also be less. Okay, so the reasons are this. So there is nothing, then you can refer it from the book, that how to get the stick diagram for this particular thing. Okay, so that's what I have taken from the book, book example only. Okay, so you can see that these are all common points, and then we have connected them together, and then we have connected to the VDD and to the supply, and then there is a common point, this drain, and this drain we have connected to the output then. Okay, so this is our output, whereas the other points we have connected to the ground. So ground is connected at the multiple points. Okay, because it is not possible to connect it, if you will connect it at one point, then you may not be able to realize the circuit correctly. So accordingly, you have to connect it at multiple points, so wherever it is coming. Okay, so okay, now let's try to see it for some other circuits, some complex circuits. Then as you know that the pull-up network is same, so this pull-up network is the dual of this, okay, pull-down network. So we'll first of all we'll try to draw the schematic for our pull down network, and then pull up network will be obviously the dual of it. So you can draw it automatically, and following the same procedure which we have discussed in the stick diagram, you can draw the stick diagram of the circuit as well. Okay, so here we will see that how to realize any boolean function, any given boolean function, with the help of this stick diagram, with the help of CMOS circuits. So this is our this thing. Okay, so you see, if let's say the functionality which is given to you is like A1, A2, A3, A1 dot A2 dot A3 plus B1 dot B2 plus C1 dot C2 dot C3, and whole bar. Okay, over that whole function there is a bar. So if you want to realize this with the help of this function, so you can draw its this boolean, this logical diagram. So this is the logic diagram for the circuit. So you have this logic diagram will look like this. For this logic diagram, if let's suppose, I mean this is the logic diagram, but if suppose at the transistor level, if I want to see that how the transistors are connected, then obviously you can see that to realize A1.A2.A3, we have to connect them in series. Okay, so this is what it is. Then B1 and B2 are connected in series, then C1.C2 and C3 are connected in series, then they are connected because they are odd here in this function, so we have connected them in parallel, and then this combination is taken, the from here you have taken the output. Okay, and the other end is connected to the ground. So you see this function is, now you got it. Now if you want to draw the pull-up, then what in the pull-up network you have to just put whatever here in the series, like A1, A2, A3 are in series, so you have to put A1, A2, A3 in parallel. Okay, then B1 and B2 are also in parallel, and C1, C2 and C3 are also will come in parallel. But then A1, A2, A3 parallel combination will come in series with B1, B2 parallel combination, and this will come in series with the parallel combination of C1, C2 and C3. Okay, so if you will connect them, although this is not shown here, but I have told you here. Okay, so this is what you, if you do, you can obviously draw the this pull-up network, and then you try to find the common path for the pull-up network and the pull-down network. Find the Euler's path and draw its stick diagram as well. Okay, so you can try it by your own. Similarly, you can try other functions as well. So this is the another function which we have tried it here. So you see the function is A1 plus A2 plus A3 dot B1 plus B2 dot C1 and the whole bar over it. So this is important, that whatever function, whatever Boolean expression you have, over to that Boolean expression, it should be complementary. Okay, so there should be a bar over it. If you don't have a complete bar over it, then you have to get it by some or the other means. Then only you can use this particular CMOS circuitry, whatever method we have discussed, to realize it. Else, if there is not a complete bar over it, then it will be difficult for you to realize it with the help of CMOS inverters. Okay, so understand it. Okay, so this is the logic diagram for the circuit, for the expression, and then from this logic diagram, this is the logic diagram. So this is the logic diagram for the expression, for this Boolean expression. And from this Boolean expression, whatever is written, you can write this as well. Okay, so this is the function for this. Okay, so it's easy, it's not difficult. The same thing, same logic which I have used there. And then again you can do the dual effect, and you will get the pull-up network. So with this, we finish this course here itself, and I hope the course was interesting to all of you. And it's not difficult course, but the only thing is that we should be familiar with this NMOS and this MOSFET. If you are familiar with the MOSFET, then the things are very easy. You can connect them in different fashions, and you can understand it. You can apply the various things, that how to get the threshold voltage of the inverter, because once you are able to realize the inverter and analyze it properly, then the same thing you can replicate it for the other circuits as well, as far as the digital circuitry is concerned. Okay, and more or less for the analog circuitry as well. Okay, but the only thing is you use different models to realize the analog circuits and the digital circuits. In this course, we have discussed only about the digital circuits, but if in future it is required, we can also discuss about the analog circuits. Okay, analog CMOS circuits, and if you get the chance to analyze them, that will be also be interesting thing. Okay. So in short, the course I hope is interesting, and it completely depends upon your MOSFET analysis and the combination of NMOS and PMOS on the single, on a single circuit. So what issues will come and how to solve it. So very warm wishes to you, for all of you, to your exams, and with this I end with this course particularly. Okay, so thank you all of you for listening. Thank you.